If you're a business owner and you're confused about whether you should hire a bookkeeper, an accountant, or a CPA, you're not alone. Most people hire the wrong one at the wrong time and it costs them money. Let me explain this to you simply. These three roles sound the same, but they're all very different. And here's one thing to remember. Most small businesses do not need all three, especially not all at the same time. Here's what a bookkeeper does. A bookkeeper handles the day-to-day financial reality of your business. They're going to categorize your bank and credit card transactions, reconcile all accounts, track your income and expenses, and produce monthly reports, and keep your QuickBooks clean and in order. An accountant works on top of bookkeeping. They're going to review the financials, make sure that your balance sheet is accurate, make sure that your profit and loss makes sense, that you have all your expenses correctly categorized, all income is correctly captured. Then they're going to interpret those financials over to you. They might share things with you over a call or sit down and explain with you what everything looks like. They're also going to assist with planning and strategy. So if they see that cash flow is weak, then they will help you to adjust different things there. And sometimes they will even help with forecasting and budgeting or any kind of other planning that you may want to do for the future. Accountants analyze the numbers, but they're not usually the ones maintaining them daily. But if they are, then that's even better because then they know exactly the numbers they're working with and if they're accurate or not. But it all keeps going back to bookkeeping, right? If the bookkeeping isn't solid, then the accountant is simply just making guesses. Accountants will also walk you through things like your accounts receivable aging summary. I know that was a mouthful, but basically it just shows all of your customers and what they owe you and in different buckets, whether it is within the last 30 days, 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90, or 90 plus, which is usually delinquent customers that you may have to classify over to a credit loss account. Accountants can also cover your accounts payable, which simply shows all the vendors that you personally owe. Here's what a CPA does. A CPA is a licensed professional who primarily focuses on taxes, compliance, and different filings. Bookkeeping is something that CPAs offer, but it's not usually the bread and butter of their business. If you need your taxes prepared, if you need to talk to the IRS about anything, or if you're worried about a compliance issue and you need somebody to come and do an internal audit, then you would be looking for a CPA. The big thing that CPAs handle are tax returns. They're also going to handle any IRS filings, any other types of special filings that only a CPA can sign off on, different compliance things, and also tax strategy and tax planning. A lot of business owners think that hiring a CPA is the cure for their business, but it does not replace bookkeeping because now you're either going to be paying that CPA extra or you're getting inaccurate tax advice. Okay, so with all that being said, how do you know who you actually need? Well, it depends on what sorts of questions and what sorts of problems you're running into. If you're thinking things like, gosh, tax time is always stressful, or my books are always behind, or cash flow is tight right now, but I see that my sales are up, you probably need a bookkeeper, right? You need optics on the day-to-day financials, exactly what's happening in your business and why you're in this predicament. If you have months of bookkeeping that you're behind, the reality is CPAs are incredibly busy throughout the year, amending tax returns or filing late tax returns. And especially don't call them during busy season to do bookkeeping. That's just going to be probably an extra premium. You need a bookkeeper if you're asking these types of questions. Now, if you're asking things like, I wish I had better optics on my financials, or I wish I had someone who could help me interpret some of these numbers and interpret some of these reports, then you would be looking for someone who's more of an accountant. I sit in a bit of a middle ground. I do the detailed bookkeeping, but I also have an accounting lens, so I'm always thinking ahead. For most business owners, that means fewer surprises and better decisions. If you're a business owner who wants clean books and someone who can actually explain what's happening in your business, that's who I work with.